All right, let's talk about the Colorado Buffs here for a little bit. Look, obviously, coming off a massive statement road conference victory over Texas Tech. There's a saying in the National Football League, any road win's a good win, any division win's a good win. So in this case for Colorado, any road conference win is a big win, especially overcoming, I think, a lot of boneheaded mistakes down the stretch, but they end up winning by 2 touchdowns against a quality Texas Tech opponent. This Buffs team is heading in the right direction, but Coach Prime made a very interesting move after the game with some of his comments. I think it's a great strategy by him. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, as you Buffs fans know, 41-27, 14-point victory, continuing to rise up the rankings, proving a lot of detractors wrong. Coach Prime is doing day in and day out. But after the game and his comments to the media, he had very interesting comments when it came to one young offensive lineman in particular. And I think not a lot of people are focusing on this, but I think it gives some real insight into the magic Coach Prime is using to turn this Buffs program around. Let's pull up this report right here. This is from the end of the game from SI.com. Another noteworthy comment came from Cash Cleveland, who stepped up to play center. Despite being a walk-on, Cleveland has earned Sanders' trust and respect, proving that talent, preparation, and dedication can overcome any initial lack of star power. We don't care if you're a 5-star, 4-star, or walk-on, Sanders stated proudly, noting that Cleveland's hard work and commitment have made him an invaluable part of the team. These are very powerful statements from Coach Prime and Deion Sanders. I'm going to break down exactly why in a second, because I play a little college football back in the day, small-time D1 AA, but what he's saying here is actually antithetical to what you hear from every other program. This is truly what's good about college football, what Prime was highlighting here, but most programs screw it up. But first, Buffs fans in the comment section below, obviously feeling good after that victory. Give us your MVP in this 41-27 win for Colorado. Hunter was spectacular. I think Sanders had a really nice day. Heck, both Sanders did, offense and defensive side of the ball. But only pick one. Who is your MVP in this massive Colorado victory? Put him in the comment section below. All right, but back to this statement. So first of all, when you talk about any sort of player like Cleveland too, when you say walk-on, it's not like a Rudy situation, right? That really doesn't exist in major college football anymore. This was a guy who was recruited, just not seen as a good enough prospect to be worth a full scholarship offer. A lot of programs do this. They have the whole priority walk-on thing, and that's exactly what Cleveland did. So it's not like this guy was not a good football player in high school. He most certainly was. Went to the prestigious IMG Academy in Florida the last year of his high school career. This guy was a good football player, and that's why one of the reasons why, of course, he came to Colorado. Do you think Coach Prime would bring a scrub onto the fold? Absolutely not. But the reality is he's not a 3 or 4 or 5-star guy. Was not coming out of school, coming out of high school. But he has absolutely earned it with his playing time, with his performance, his commitment, his dedication to the program, which is exactly what Prime highlights in his statements. Now, what I think is really important going forward is to understand that no other program, I shouldn't say no other program, I haven't heard of a program that thinks this way. Every program likes to think this way, but they don't. Think about it like this. Anytime if you've got a coach, right? Let's say you recruited a center and he's a 4-star guy. And let's say the year before you brought in a transfer and he played 2 years at, Central Michigan or whatever and had a decent career. And now you bring in a guy who didn't get a scholarship offer. If you're the coach, let's say you're the O-line coach. If you sit there and you're like, hey, listen, the guy who didn't get a scholarship offer, I think he's playing well. I think maybe he should get some starting reps. That makes you look like a scrub from a coach perspective, because that means the other 2 guys you recruited, the transfer and the guy the previous year, aren't very good, right? Otherwise, if they had been great recruits, if you were such a good talent evaluator, the guy who didn't get a scholarship offer would not have beaten them out. So what do most coaches do in that situation? They bury the better football player, the non-scholarship guy, on the depth chart. I've seen this happen a number of times. I remember specifically in my college career, there was a young player. He was absolutely spectacular, working his butt off. He had climbed up the depth chart. He had spent 2 years grinding. He was a really good, complete football player, team guy, 100%, great person. And yet there was some freshman that came in that was a really talented kid, and the coaching staff liked him more because he was a bigger recruit, and they gave him all the playing time, more reps in practice, all this stuff. And I couldn't believe it, because the other player, even though he was nowhere near the level of recruit, he had earned it. He had put in the time, was a smart guy, team player, knew the offense, everything. He wasn't getting the reps. The young guy was, even though he was making mistakes. He had maturity issues. The stuff like that really infuriated me when I talk to people that play college football in different levels. They say, yeah, that's really the rule, not the exception. Coach Prime has proved himself here to be the exception. The football, college football, and really football at all levels, to me, has always and needs to be a meritocracy. The best player plays, bar none. The reality is that's not the case. The bigger recruit, the bigger name, they will get more playing times. They will get more opportunities. If they have a mistake in practice, it will be overlooked because they're a 4-star guy. If a priority walk-on in Cleveland's case here, if he makes a mistake in practice, they'll sit there and say, he's not very good at football, right? Because he didn't get a scholarship offer. What do you expect? That's what 99% of programs do. It's unfortunate. It's just the way of the world. I've seen it myself. I've had a bunch of people corroborate this from other programs as well. This is just how it works. And it's not just this way in the football world. This happens all across corporate America and things like that. Coach Prime here is setting a different tune. He's setting a different standard, truly being meritocratic. And this is a guy where the media critiqued him saying, oh, he only cares about the stars. He's only about the celebrity. He's only about his son. He's only about Hunter and all this stuff. Absolutely not. Coach Prime, since day one of his playing career, whether it was football or baseball or all the way through his multiple National Football League teams, he has always been about meritocracy. The best player plays to win. It is about winning. That's what it matters. Bar none. That's it. And ever since he came on Colorado, what he's done with this program, the attitude he's taken, despite the criticism through the media, there's been one constant. His attitude and goal is to win, and we are seeing it consistently week in and week out. This is no longer a program that's a feel-good story. This is no longer a program that gets some interesting headlines on ESPN. This is a program that right now controls their playoff to the college football playoff. This controls their path to the college football playoff, They are a playoff contender in 2 years. 3 years ago, they were a laughingstock. They're playoff contenders in 2 years, right? Is Shadir Sanders a big part of that? Of course. Is Travis Hunter a big part of that? Of course. But I guarantee you, in this team game, you don't get there unless you have a coach at the top of the organization that empowers his players and his assistants to pick the best players, to run the best plays, to use the best strategies. This is leadership. This is awesome from Coach Prime. This right here, this paragraph that we just showed, is the most important thing behind Colorado's turn to success and why they will continue to be good in the future. I love to see it. This was the best news I saw all day. This is why it's spectacular. Great sign for Colorado going forward.